Hi everyone, it's Ernest from Back to Basics. Yes, you're seeing the face that goes to the voice today, and that's you can thank my daughter for that. As you saw just a second ago, I had my pepper shirt on, and she says, "Dad, if you're going to be wearing your pepper shirt, you should put it in your YouTube video." And I said, "You know, nobody really wants to see me in a video." She says, "Yeah, they do. It's called YouTube, not PepperTube." Anyways, here I am. So we're going to be just looking at an update on the garden today. I have a few ideas of some things that I want to do. As you can see behind me, I've had this pond that I built years ago with my daughter, and I thought I'm going to try and incorporate some aquaponics into it. So let's take a look at some of those ideas and take a look at the garden. Oh, and you know, on a hot day like today, no, this isn't an infomercial. You guys got to try a beer like this. This is a beer called Stiegl from Austria. I think these Austrians got it right. It's a mixture of beer and grapefruit juice. 50% juice. That makes it a health drink in my books. So give it a try, guys. Yeah, so one of the things I'm planning on doing is taking advantage of all these wonderful fish that are going to provide the nutrients needed for aquaponics. Now, I know the traditional way is to have a bin for them and feeding the water into plants, but you know, I saw Kang Star done a video a few weeks ago, I think, on I think he called it salad bowl lettuce that he had done hydroponically. Well, I'm going to try doing it with my pond here. I'm planning on getting some styrofoam and putting some net pots into here and just have the roots hang down into this pond, and we're going to see what happens. So if hopefully work doesn't take away from the time of me trying that, so that's what we're planning. Well, first off, guys, let's take a look at this Cayenne Long Red Slim. I think when I showed you guys this a couple of weeks ago, it was maybe about this big, but it's really coming along quite nice. We've also had a few more that have popped up with the seasons, blooms coming up, so I'm hoping all of these are going to eventually get to be about the same size. Take a look at how nice these pimentos are doing. Actually got some color on them now. Got a whole whack of them coming more. Look at this, just everywhere. Those are looking really nice. You know, one thing that I've always found with the videos that I watched with others is I think that you learn a lot more when you see some of the mistakes others have done, and I'm gonna start incorporating that. I'm not proud, I'm not looking for a perfect video every time, but I know that you can actually learn a lot more from others' mistakes. So one thing I wanted to point out with these 3-gallon pails that I've made, I mean, the peppers are doing fine in them, but man, I never realized how much the soil would sink. When I made these first filled up, I had them up to here, but about a week ago my peppers started getting yellow. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Moisture was fine, and then it just hit me that the level of the soil had dropped from here down to about here. So in actuality, I really only had about this much soil in here, which is nowhere near what these plants are going to want. So you can see things are looking a little nicer now. I took an afternoon and I took all the mulch off, and I topped up with soil again, and I actually added some fertilizer. There was no fertilizer that was in the soil I was using. I think it was a 1.8, 0.8. So I've added an 888 to the soil that I topped this up with, and since then they've been turning red, the leaves are getting nice and green, so that's a lesson learned for next year. Well, this here is the yellow bell pepper. You can see it's getting some nice height on it after re-fertilizing and adding more soil. Just give you an idea, you can see from the length with my hand here, those have grown, doubled in size in the last 3 weeks. And we've actually got some jalapenos forming here. Looking to be a nice size. So looking forward to getting those. These are batches that I'm making are going to be going into my smoker, and we're going to be making some chipotle sauce. Tomatoes are starting to do well. You can see this is almost a good 2.5 inches in diameter. These are just taking off like crazy. We've got a good 3 feet of growth going here. They also needed to be re-topped up with soil and fertilizer. Doing just wonderful right now. This plant here is actually, which is in a 5-gallon pot, is about as tall as me now, and starting to get loaded with cherry tomatoes. This is the other one in the shade. As you can see, we've got cherry tomatoes everywhere right now. Gonna have a good crop of these pretty darn soon. Herbs are doing really good. We've got oregano and lettuce and tarragon and cilantro and a whole bunch of other things happening here. You know, one thing, you know, I was inspired by a lot of these plant growings by watching Kang Starr's videos, and I'm telling you, boy, it sure is a difference when you move from hydroponics in controlled situations to outside. A whole variety of issues with pests and watering and all that. I'm sure you all know about it, but it's a great learning experience. I'm sure next year's going to be much better. For example, this basil, yeah, it's about 2 weeks old. In 2 weeks inside the hydroponics, that would have been already practically a tree. Got some spinach going on here. Lettuce is ready to be pretty soon ready to be gone. And as you saw in my last video, I got a nice batch of Choi going here. And I'd like to thank one of my viewers, I can't remember his name at the top of my head, pointed out that a lot of these problems with these holes were due to sawflies. And actually, I think you can probably see we've got some happening right now, flying around. This is what I think is causing the problems with my my Choi. Thanks to a suggestion from China Hat 242, he suggested that it was a sawfly, and I looked up on Wikipedia, and it says a sawfly is basically a fly that looks like a wasp, and this is exactly what this looks like. Not sure if it's been eating it or whether it was the larva that created the sawfly, but thanks again for the feedback. And well, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to catching you next time.